Squelch, 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 squelch.
Welcome back to Squelch. I'm Matt at Arms.
And I'm Storm Rage, and we're here to remind everyone that Return of the Obra Dinn is a game, and that games are supposed to be fun.
I'm having fun with this game.
I am having so much fun with this game.
This game's good. This game's really good.
I love this
Thank you.
game a lot.
Thank you, Lucas Pope. It was a very good game. No Dano this week. He's under the weather, and he also has opinions on this game, so we'll talk to him about it next week. I think we're wrapping up the game next week as well, because I'm at a point where I have to decide if I want to. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But first, let's thank our patrons. Drop.
Holy buckets. Are we really doing this? You're going to make Dano listen to the entire episode to find out where each drop is supposed to go? Matt, we all know you have the drops. You've done the drops before. Dano is squinting his eyes at me in a way that makes me wonder if he is contemplating whether or not to actually do this. To be honest with you all, I don't know what he is going to decide. In fact, I don't know if he knows what he is going to decide. Only you, the listener, can solve this mystery, as you listen to this episode about a mystery video game. P.S. Dano does indeed have feelings about this game. Many feelings.
Thanks. I am pretty incredible.
Hey, thanks, patrons. We appreciate you. We really do.
Hi. Thank you.
And
Hey,
thanks
hey,
for sticking
you?
with us.
Hey, you patron? You specifically? Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Nailed it.
Let's move on to tea. Because I'm drinking tea.
Do you have any of the drops, or is
No,
Daniel
I
doing all these posts?
I think he might have to do these posts, or he's just going to do it raw. Because, honestly, I could have done the drops. I just never couldn't get around to it. I'm just lazy. I'm just a lazy man.
He admitted to it. Did you all hear that? Dano is editing this episode from beginning to end, so he's uncovering the mystery right alongside all of you. Wow. For anyone wondering, Dano recently had face surgery. Everything is all good, so no stress there, but after a few days, his right eye hurt. Like a lot. A lot. You know what? The surgery wasn't even on his eyes, which made the eye pain 100% more fun. Turns out there are lots of nerves in the face, and messing with them can cause strange effects. Dano is all good now, as evidence with this podcast releasing on time. Anyway, he would like to thank his very good friends Matt Hutterms and Storm Rage for their assistance this week.
Normally when Dano's not here, we do still have some semblance of drops.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to make Dano's life real hard. Hey, Dano, drop here, and then I'll slurp.
Hate you.
Hello, old friend. Let's meet for tea after the match, shall we?
Perfect.
Slurp.
What you been doing, Stormrage?
It's so not exciting. I feel bad that in Tea with the Finley, I've essentially just played the same games for like 4 months now. I'm still playing Helldivers. They released one that's called The Protectors of Truth or something along those lines. It's obnoxious and ridiculous and amazing. And I also am playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I'm doing some more kind of custom games with that and finishing through the story because there's a lot of story in it. It's great. And then Hearthstone Great Dark Beyond released, and that's been a blast and a half to play. So I would say that it's been pretty good. I also don't really expect to be different anytime soon. I think that my gaming from here on out will essentially be Hearthstone, Helldivers, Overwatch, game that we're playing for Squelch. I think that's just going to be what it's going to be for a while until we get to a game from Squelch that I want to play after we're done playing it. And that hasn't really happened yet. Like, pretty
Oh, I
much
get it.
whenever we're done with a game, I'm done with that game and I move along to the next.
I mean, I still got to finish Cult of the Lamb. I mean, I get around to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you need to get around to it. It's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. For me, I've just been catching up on work in real life, so I've playing less games than you. I finally got a chance to do the Obra Dinn stuff today, and I made some progress. I was at, 24 when I did the write-up last week? I'm up to 36 solved.
Holy cow. I was
So-
at 3 last week. I'm up to 9.
Oh, you're doing good. You're making progress.
I sure am technically making progress.
Yes. So, all right. So from this point, we're going to go back to we're going to do the Obra Dinn recap. Full transparency. We're going full spoiler alert here. I am as vague as I can be with some of the names and people, but also trying to make it listenable. So we're going to run through the story in order. So this is
not the way that it is presented in the game, but the way that it
Correct.
chronologically would have taken place had we started at the beginning and moved all the way through.
Correct. So I figured that was the easiest way to do it, other than starting a new save and then not doing. I didn't want to start a new save.
Same. So I also want to kind of highlight here that there are indeed some light spoilers for, I think, somewhat obvious mysteries, because
Yes.
Matt has written down a few names here or there. So if you're like, I don't want to hear any spoilers, I've done 9, and I think you have named all 9 of the ones that I've done.
Perfect.
But I don't think you've done much past that. So, like, the pretty obvious ones. If I
Yes.
could do it, you can do it.
Yes. So yeah, like I said, full spoiler alert here. If you want to miss past this, I don't know. It's gonna take a while because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So Storm Rage, want to get us started?
Yeah, so we start with chapter 1, which is such an interesting start for this game, because it's kind of a nothing start. It's
Yes.
just a thing. So the Obra Dinn is being loaded near the port where the first tragedies strike. And it's just being loaded. It's just at a port. There's nothing magical or mythical about it. And a crew member and a stowaway who's stowed in a barrel are killed when cargo is being loaded. Basically, they're loading cargo into the cargo hold. One of the ropes snaps, and it kills the person inside the barrel, as well as somebody that is helping to load it. So the victims are crushed under a pile of supplies when the pulleys themselves break. That's it. That's all chapter 1 is. It's super simple, totally normal, nothing weird about it. Then we get chapter 2. Chapter 2 is where things start to get a little weird. Chapter 2, A Bitter Cold. The Obra Dinn is off the coast of Portugal, where 3 deaths occur. Syed dies in the hammock of an illness, and the only reason I know it's Syed is because they say, Syed, don't die. Hey,
Yeah,
Syed,
drink
don't
something."
die.
Drink something. Yeah.
And then he dies. It's a real bummer. Another crew member succumbs to the same illness. We are shown that this in a scene between the third mate and the ship's surgeon, who doesn't believe that the illness is contagious and gives him laudanum instead.
Yep.
The third death is a large cow, and it's so funny to me that, like, the device that you were given in the beginning of the game, the little pocket watch that lets you see
Mhm.
death, also goes for animals, so you get to see, like, how cows and things die, which also showcases other things. And by the way, correction, last week I said that you get the pocket watch from the captain at the beginning of the game. That is
Right.
incorrect. You
Yeah.
get the pocket watch from, I believe, the surgeon, Henry, because he says his name in the opening of the book. He's like, hey, this is the Obra Dinn. I couldn't fill it all out. You'll fill it all out. The ship will reveal itself to you in time, Henry. So it's the ship's surgeon, not the captain, that gives you this thing to see the Obra Dinn.
Yep.
Charlie is called in the scene. He gets sick after slaughtering the cow. The ship's cook and 2 other midshipmen are present. Meanwhile, the second man who died from the illness is carried away for his last rites.
Actually, I think I miswrote that because I think I solved this after writing this down. The person who's with him is not the cook. He's actually the ship's butcher.
Oh, okay.
It makes more sense that he'd be there with the cow.
That would make sense, yeah.
Okay, so chapter 3 is entitled Murder. So here's where it gets a little strange. Some of the stuff happens. So the Obra Dinn is out near the Canary Islands, and this one's like the initial scene is rather cut and dry. And a man with an Italian accent is in the cargo deck and catches Senor Nicholas after he has clubbed one of the Formosan royalty guards to access a chest they brought on board. In the chest is a glowing shell. This is kind of like the MacGuffin of the game.
Yeah.
And then when Mr. Nicholas discovers that the Italian man is there, he stabs him in the chest. Cuts to the next.
Can I quickly pause here? So,
Yes.
A question about the story. So initially they set off from England, right?
Yeah.
And then their goal is to basically ship around and do some and come back with goods.
Right.
They do come across in, I assume, somewhere between chapter 2 and chapter 3, a Formosan delegation, which is a Formosan royalty, so a king and queen, for lack of a better term. I don't think we get a real term for who these people are, and they're 2 royal guards. We don't get any indication of how they come aboard, though, do we?
I think they were in England, and I think they boarded the ship in England based on, I guess, the manifest, because they're on the manifest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
do we know how this glowing shell, which comes time and time again, how the glowing shell gets aboard? Is it just on board at the very beginning?
It's in their luggage, and that's why they have a guard standing out in front of it the entire time, because they know it's some sort of thing that is mystical.
Okay, so I'm so sorry I'm interrupting here.
No, you're fine.
So my interpretation of this story changes a little bit then, because we later find out that this thing is like a pretty big deal. Yeah. So this ship is headed to, I assume, Formosa.
I believe it's headed to towards the Orient.
Yeah, so
I think they're on to just catch a ride because it's the next boat out towards the Orient.
Oh, okay. So they're just like, hey, we need to head that direction.
Yeah, we need a ride. We need a ride to Taiwan. Can you give us a ride to Taiwan while you're doing your thing towards Taiwan? And
and I don't
things
think
occur.
They go directly towards Taiwan. Like, I don't think that's like a stop on their journey, because that's pretty out of the way from like the East Indies. But it is. I think you're right that they're like, we're in England. We don't want to be in England. We want to be back home. This will get us close to back home.
Yes.
Okay, great. Continue on.
All right. So Hoxing Lao, who's named very deliberately here, is identified as the guard, and the second mate Nicholas clubs. At least one. Like, I think at this point you can see both faces clearly. And is framed and Hoxing Lao is named for the murder of the Italian guy. Nunzio Pasquale, I think is his name. I think that's how you say his name. It's a bit of a spoilery, but we're there. In the second scene, it's the second scene in the chapter. We see the events that are depicted in the Justice at Sea sketch, and then where Hoxing Lao is killed. This is probably your best area to try to figure out who's who. It comes pretty late in the game, I think. I think it's like 3/4 through the game, like through the initial playthrough, that you unlock this scene. And it's really good for helping to identify people, because you have like a 1-for-1. This is the person in the picture. This is the person who they're standing with, and their clothes. You get a better look at them. In the third scene, go ahead.
It is the same as the picture, so it's basically an interaction of the picture that you see throughout most of the game.
I mean,
but it's more expanded. You can see more things and more people in that picture, and you can kind of see how they interact. And people are loosely grouped with people that are the same status as them. Yes. So, like, you've got the captain and the mates, you've got the top men, you've got the riggers, you've got all the people in different sections. So you can be like, all right, this is a group that I know one of these guys is a seaman. So the other 3 here are probably also seamen.
Yeah. Or like, like the captain and like in the way the officers stand and which and which stewards are standing by which officer. It's there's things you can interpret through here.
Yeah. And I do want to clarify, because I'm looking at the map of the actual intended journey of the Obra Dinn right now. So we don't actually see where it's headed, from what I can tell. We start in England, and it just has us going to the south of Africa, and then the map cuts off. But the journey itself goes to about the Canary Islands, so just off the coast of like northeast Africa, and then it curls back around to England. So it doesn't get very far in its journey.
Right. So in the third scene, we see the second mate and a bunch of other crew members capture the foremost in royalty, and the remaining guards, and then they drag him to, or one of the guard, the royalty, and I think one of the guards, and they drag him towards the bit. No, the guard stays on the boat because there's two guards. One of them is killed because of the murder. The other one stays on the boat. It's the king and queen, I guess. Anyway, they're being dragged on the boat with the chest. And one of the crew members is shot because the second mate officer is doing this of his own volition, or the second mate was doing this of his own volition. Another crewman is speared in the leg, and one midshipman is clubbed in the leg, in the back of the head, on the deck. Hoxing Lao is still hanging from the yardarm, and one of the boats has the chest. This scene's actually kind of a difficult one to find. It's like outside of one of the windows, and I think in the first officer's quarters. Because there's like a piece of a leg hanging from a rope.
Yeah.
So, and then it goes into chapter 4, where the entire chapter 4 is presented in reverse and is completely a pain in the butt to figure out what happens. I'm going to say that right now. So what happens is the second mate and several crew members of the Formosan delegation are tied up in rowboats and are headed towards the Canary Islands. They say they are 3 days away from up by rowboat to the Canary Islands, which sounds brutal.
Yeah. And we don't really know why they're out, right? Other than
the second officer wants what's in the Formosan chest.
So their goal is, hey, we're going to get out of here, and then they get another rowboat, basically catch up to them and bring them back. Is that the idea?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, there's some motivation here. I haven't discovered what it is.
I think that's, and I think that a lot of this game is so intentionally vague that we may not, like, in my brain, I always want to figure out, why do they do this? What are the things that happen in between here? And that's not necessarily what's going to happen in this game.
That's not how the game presents it.
Yeah.
So Miss Lim, who is very, very directly named in one of the scenes, is warns the chest must not fall into the sea, and the guard warns about monsters. So it's the king, whatever. One of the other most people warns about monsters. When all of a sudden a mermaid pops out of the sea and kills one of the crewmates. Another one drags into the sea. The rest are killed by mermaid. The rest of the crewmates on board are killed by mermaids.
And I do believe that this is not a Formosan guard. This is the dude that is sitting down in the picture.
King. Yeah,
I'm going to say king for lack of a better word because I don't know what their government structure is.
Right. So he takes the shell out of so what he ends up doing, he takes the shell out of the chest, puts it in the top of the chest, which all of a sudden there's this magical light that kills the mermaids and also kills him in the process.
I can't for the life of me. Hey, Matt, real direct question. And hey, friends, skip ahead 30 seconds because I need to know this for my own sanity. What's the actual thing that you write in the journal about how he died? Because I can't figure it out. Because I know that he died from doing that thing.
Yeah, so I think he was burned. I think I put burned, and I think caught I forget what it was burned, and I think that I didn't have to do a person that killed him.
Okay.
So it opened that up, and actually I think that when I did that, it unlocked two other ones that were locked in. So.
Okay.
Two more. Yeah.
I wrote it down as poison because I wasn't really sure because it's.
I mean, his hand, he has no arms. His arms are burnt off. Quite honestly, when you see him.
Yeah.
So he puts it on the top of the chest. It kills him, and the second mate is in the process of after he kills the mermaids, he drags the mermaids' bodies into the boats.
Mm-hmm.
And in the final scene of the chapter, the second mate is shot by the last of the Formosan guards as he approaches the Obra Dinn. Because he's like, fine, I'm going to row back to the boat because this whole idea was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to be like, hey, look, I found treasure. And it's these bodies of mermaids.
Yeah.
And so he gets shot, like the other guard is just right there waiting for him. Pow, got him.
Yeah.
And that's the end of chapter 4.
I will say, these mermaids, not super fun mermaids, not super
No.
cool mermaids, real vicious mermaids.
Yeah,
and
scary
they
mermaids.
love to do a murder or two.
Yeah. Oh, they keep doing them.
Yes,
the best
they
part.
do.
So talking about chapter 5, let's move to chapter 5 where it goes to hell.
So, chapter 5, Unholy Captives. When the boats are pulled aboard and the mermaids are netted and being brought aboard. So basically, all the boats are now at this point empty-ish of living people. It's just corpses and the chest and the shell and mermaid deaths.
Yes.
The captain is talking to the last of the Formosan guards and asking about the chest and the shell when he's killed. Being the Formosan guard,
the Formosan
not
guard,
the
yes.
captain.
Yes, I should have
is
been clear about that.
Killed by a spear from one of the mermaids. So basically, the only person that can have any answers to what's happening here is killed before any information is given.
Yep.
Which, excellent way to do a murder mystery. You've got this weird thing that for whatever reason people are like greedily lusting after, and then someone's like, hey, I need to tell you all the things about this so you don't summon this deep dark evil, and oops, sorry, I'm dead, goodbye. So the last of the Formosan is killed. You can see in this scene the crew bringing the Formosan chest back on board, which does include the shell. And then they are also some mermaids that they bring on board. Because the next thing, one of the crewmates is killed by the mermaids as they are bringing them below decks. So this is a question that I had, because they don't look the same. Like these mermaids look like evolved versions of themselves, for lack of a better word, like a Pokemon. They went from their first form to their second form, because the original mermaids are mostly human with like tails, and then they've got spikes on their back. These things are not that. These things are like massive arachnid spiders shooting spears out of everywhere.
No, that's later. That's in the next chapter.
Okay.
Yeah, so what these are the mermaids. It's hard to really get a good look at them at this state because, like, graphically the way the game is presented, it's real jumbled and nasty there.
Yes.
Go ahead. Things continue to happen.
Yeah, so they bring on the mermaids below deck. This causes one of the seamen to lose his balance and is killed. Finally, the final scene in this chapter, the captain's steward attacks one of the seamen. The steward tells them they need to throw the bodies of the mermaids overboard or they will be doomed. The captain orders him to put in the lazarette with the mermaids' bodies. Meanwhile, the Formosan chest is being brought below decks while the body of the last dead man is being tended to. So at this point, they don't listen to the mermaid body thing, and they thankfully keep the chest down there, because you don't want the chest to go into the water, because that seems like that would be bad. I don't entirely know how, but it seems bad.
I mean, yeah, things happen. Things will happen, I guess.
Yeah.
Right,
so that's where we're at. Then we move to Chapter 6, Soldiers of the Sea. The Obra Dinn is further west of the Canary Islands when a storm hits. The top men are working to lower the top sail when a lightning strike kills one of the top men. As you look down from the rigging on both sides of the boat, what look like spiders or crabs are starting to board the boat. Imagine like a sea spider that the legs are like 10 feet long, and the body is like 2 feet long. Like the body itself is not that big. It's just that the legs are so sharp and murdery.
Yeah, very, very barbed and scary legs. Yes.
Yes, and it's one of my favorite scenes because you're just on top of this rigging, and it's one of the few times you get to see the boat from a top angle versus like on the boat itself. And there's a lightning strike above you. There's monsters beginning to board below you, and you're just sitting there watching chaos. It's crazy. As you look down from the rigging on both sides, these monsters are starting to approach. We get to see a little bit of a better later on, but essentially they look like crab riders. They look like Nazgul riding crabs that are mostly spiders. That's the best description I've got for you.
It's actually a really cool character design. It's a really cool design of enemy, I guess.
Yes. There are two as they climb aboard, and so these two Nazgul crab riders start doing a bunch of kills. The fight then goes below deck, where one of the crab riders kills another seaman after the seaman throws an axe at it. The fight continues to the Orlop deck, where two crew members are decapitated, another one is speared, and another one is stapled to the wall. Great use of the word stapled there, Matt.
I mean, basically, it's like he's shot with like 3 or 4, I guess, spears, or they're spear-like things, and he's against the wall. Spikes, yeah, and he's against the wall, like just held up by those spikes.
It's brutal. The crew is starting to pass out guns to the crew to try and fight off the crab riders. One of the midshipmen threw a lantern at it, which causes a massive fire, and the midshipman and the crab rider die. So essentially, kind of takes out the crab rider and himself with the lantern, because nothing else was working. In the aftermath of the battle, crew members douse the fire. One of the speared guys crawls to the outer wall, while the guy that was stapled to the wall dies from his wounds. Down on the cargo deck, the other monster is killed as it kills another crewman. The bodies of the crab riders and crewmen are put into storage in the front of the ship.
Yeah.
So, still bad times. Still bad times.
Hey, guess what? It gets worse.
It does!
Chapter 7, Doom. So the Obra Dinn is definitely heading back to a port at this point, where a lot of stuff continues to go down. 3 crewmen are boarding a boat to leave. Another asked to get on, but is clubbed to death because, well, the guy who clubbed him, his brother died in the first chapter. It was one of the guys. He was the guy that was crushed by the cargo.
Because he screams, "You killed my brother!"
Yeah, and the other guy's like, "No, he didn't. I saw the whole thing. It was an accident." And the other crew members on board that little boat plead their case. Chapter 2. This is the scene that I think broke Dano.
I thought it was really funny.
It's funny. Like there's a member of the crew who's having difficulty, and let's just say he's on the poop deck. And then
aptly named in this case.
Yeah, and then he's successful, and then he is crushed by a large tentacle. Above deck.
Not how I want to go. If I can rate the ways in this game in which I would like to go, this is not in my top 5.
Not at all. Yeah. Sorry, Lord. Above deck, the crew finds the club crew member, and the boat has disappeared into the sea. So we assume those people have gone away. Gone somewhere. Back below on the gun deck, the crew is trying to shoot the Kraken with a cannon. Or like there's several cannons, and they're trying to just take care of the Kraken by shooting at it. But one of the crew members is crushed by a tentacle just as the fuse is lit. It rotates the cannon towards the other members on the gun deck, and 2 members eat the cannon, and 2 crew members at that point eat the cannon blast. The backfire of the cannon blast goes through the wall, knocks over another cannon, and kills a steward. And above deck, because this was all happening at once, there's a midshipman who's grabbed by the Kraken, and then there's a big ball of fire around him. So I'm assuming he got exploded somehow.
Yeah. I really like the way... So when you go back in time, if you're somebody that's listening to this and you've not played this game at all, to give you a sense of like how you find out this information, most specifically, you find out you're transported to the scene of the body that you're looking at, their moment of death. And you also get to see a lot of the details around it. And in many of these scenes, you can see what's happening both below and above deck. That's not true for all of them, and I don't even think that's true for most of them.
Yeah.
But in some of these scenes, especially in this chapter, you can be like, oh, down here, this dude's dying. Let's see what's like upstairs. And you're like, oh, upstairs, everyone's dying. That's also bad. And so you could see in real time isn't quite the right word, but it gets around the idea. You could see what's happening moment by moment all across the ship, and it's bad all across the ship. This Kraken is wreaking havoc.
Yeah, it's actually like the Kraken. Like this is the scene, and you get to the scene, or like no, not this scene, but one of the next scene where the next chapter shows a tattooed man being crushed by the tentacles of the Kraken. I still have not figured out who this is yet.
I don't know who the tattooed man is. It's driving me crazy.
I know,
it's one of the
like
first 1 stars that you get, and they're
no,
like,
he's
you
two.
should know this is.
He's two. I made sure he's two. He's two.
He's I think the first unblurred face that you see outside of like the first 3 that you solve.
Yeah, the first 5. Yeah, the first 4 or 5. Yeah, 3 or 4 people. Yeah.
And I just keep looking at it, going, "Who are you, tattooed man?"
Right. Being crushed by the tunnels of the Kraken, you see the boat from the first part of the chapter upturned, and the crew members. Wait, hold on. Was that right there? And the crew members' fates there. Finally, you see the death of the captain's wife as she is struck by the mast that was torn down by the Kraken. Then I think that's when you start seeing, like it's the captain's wife death happens right away.
Yeah,
or it's like right in the beginning, and then like you go down to like, it's really cool the way it's presented. You should play the game just for the story and then walk off the boat. That's all I recommend. If you want to play the game, do the story, walk off the boat.
I think that if you're not interested in puzzles, the story is really, really interesting. I think also, like, to be fair, like now we've told you the story, so I don't know how
but it's presented in a really good way.
It is. It really, really is. And I think that we'll talk about our recommendations and things of that nature. But yeah. I really like the storytelling choices in this game.
Right. So chapter 8, next chapter of the book, it's still locked. It's still locked for me. And I looked online just to Google how do I do it. You need to solve 58 cases. You need to solve 58 souls.
That's so many.
I'm at 36, and that feels insurmountable.
There's only 60 solves in the entire game.
Yeah. So, and I think this is like the chapter 8, and I think this is the carrot at the end of the stick that like, okay, if you really want to know what happened, you have to do the work and figure out what happened between chapter 7 and chapter 8, because chapter 8 things get bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still bad, but like it's really bad. It's like the final fate of the crew. So in the aftermath of the Kraken attack, it is discussed how the captain chased off the Kraken and the storm. One of the officers is dying in the officer's mess as he was crushed by the Kraken. The captain was walking back upstairs to the main deck.
So this is pretty quickly after the events of the last chapter, yeah?
Right. Yeah, I think it's like probably like, okay, the storm has passed. Let's figure out who's alive. Let's get him to safety and let's see who's around.
It is always interesting how the time works in this game, because some chapters are like, oh, well, this chapter ends, this chapter immediately picks up. And others are, this chapter ends, a month later, this chapter picks up.
Yeah, so especially like chapter 1, chapter 2. It's Yeah. So on the main deck, there is a sword fight happening between a crew member and a steward, the surgeon and 2 female passengers, and another, are on the remaining boat with another crew member. Oh, I missed this in the previous chapter. Like in the scene with the tattooed man.
Yeah.
You see the boat that was taken out earlier in the chapter. It's flipped over and all the people are falling out. They're dead.
Oh, I didn't know
that. The background. It's in the background somewhere. You can't even identify their faces in the scene, but you can assume those 3 people who are on the boat when they club the guy get drowned by the Kraken.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of good detail and background stuff that like you have to kind of pay attention to.
You have to pay attention to a lot of background stuff in this game, friends. There is a lot of background stuff.
All right, so back on the main deck, there's a sword fight between a member and a crew member, the steward, the surgeon, and the 2 female passengers, and the one are on the one remaining boat with another crew member. The captain is on deck with a pistol pointed in the air, and the steward is killed. And then in the scene, the steward is killed by the sword. The first mate and seamen are running towards the scene. Meanwhile, below decks, the last midshipman left is eavesdropping on the other 2 officers in the officers' mess. The next scene shows one of the woman passenger shooting the seaman as he tries to board the boat. I'm assuming he's trying to stop them. Mm-hmm. She just blasts the guy in the face. Initially, I thought the captain killed him because he was pointing the gun in that same direction.
Yeah.
But upon further review, I didn't look at the lady with the shotgun.
Yeah, she has a shotgun. She's blowing people up. She wants to get off that boat. And you know what?
She's like,
respect.
Yeah, she's like, no, you're not getting on this boat. The captain then implores them to let them go. Below deck, there's an officer attacking the midshipman after he discovers that he had been listening into the conversation. He was like eavesdropping up against the wall, like trying to be sneaky. The midshipman in the next scene screams mutiny, so the rest of the crew can hear him. What's left of the crew hears him. As the two crew members discuss those plans, the midshipman is stabbed and crawls towards the quarters, while the one who stabbed him is shot in the face from the other officer in the officer's mess. It's actually one of the more brutal scenes. It's like literally a gun straight up the guy's jaw. First mate and seaman hear this and head back downstairs, blocking the way upstairs. They make their turn back. You can go back upstairs and see that the captain is holding his, like he's standing on the rail, head in his hands. He's defeated. He's done.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, another crewman is dumping the body of the guy that was shot in the face, or dumping the body of the guy that got shotgunned into the sea.
Yeah.
Chapter 5 of Chapter 5, I guess, of this shows a seaman clubbing the other officer that shot the other officer in the face, while the first mate runs down the stairs, blocking her way to the top deck. The stabbed midshipman continues to crawl towards the bunk. In the final chapter of the section, the midshipman dies in the arms of the first officer. At this point, you can interpret the name of the seaman as Brennan, and he's actually one of the key seaman characters in the game. That like he's like the one that shows up a lot, while the top man goes downstairs. Finally, the end.
So we go back. This is actually the very first scene in the game as it's presented to us. The first mate bangs on the door and demands to talk to the captain and locate the shell from earlier. The captain opens the door and just blasts. He's the first mate's like, "Hey, captain, give us some treasure." And he says, "You'll have what I give you." And bang. Then we see someone next to him and another shipmate decide to head upstairs to enter in from the backside. And this person, whose name I just found out right now, right this moment, as I am reading this section, I'm not reading it out loud because I think this one is hard to find.
It's not that hard to find. I told you how to find it in the previous chapter.
Well, I didn't do that, Matt. And I didn't know who this person was. So this person comes in and demands to see the shell. The captain tells him that they are at the bottom of the sea. So the captain's basically like, "Hey, I chucked it. It's gone." There's a struggle, and the captain kills this person. The top man comes in from the rear of the ship, and the captain clubs him in the head, killing him. Finally, the captain sits in the quarters with his dead wife, apologizes for everything, and then takes his own life. It's crazy. This whole story just has so many twists and turns. It's wild. I love this game. I love it so much.
It's really good. Yeah.
That's what we got.
That's what we got. That's the story of the Obra Dinn. Now we got to figure out who everybody is and how they died, which is more difficult than you think.
It's, in fact, quite difficult.
Yes.
I've been through all of this, so I've seen all of the scenes. And I'm not a particularly observant person. I'm not particularly good at puzzles. So I've only solved 9. And I think I would say that like 6 of those 9s were like really easy gimmies where they're like, "Joshua, don't stab that man." And you go, "Okay, Joshua, here. Man stabbed here." So like some of them are really, really easy. Most of them ain't. Most of them are pretty tough to figure out and just kind of guessing your way through. Now, I think that the caveat is that you start with 60, right? So that's a lot of names.
Yeah.
You eventually make your way down, and I think without too much difficulty, I think that going through it again and like really focusing in, I could probably get to around that 30, 36 mark. And then at that point, admittedly, it's a lot harder to figure things out because there are people that are in the background. There are people that you don't really see, people that maybe not even get mentioned directly. But there's a lot less people to choose from your logbook. So I think that at least helps quite a bit.
Yeah, one tip I will give you is follow if you like honestly at where you're at, just pick a character. Follow that, like, follow them if they're in a bunch of scenes. Just follow them through the ship in chronological order, trying to figure out, or no, go in reverse chronological order, from the point they died to everything that happens up to them, and I think it's easier to figure out who did what and what, or what occurred to them and who they actually are and what their relationships are. I did that for like a couple of the midshipmen. I did that for the third officer, who I still haven't figured out what happened to him. Like a lot of the officers, a lot of the stewards, I figured out that way, just in proximity to who they're with and and honestly, making guesses is the right way to go. Like there's a scene where there's like the women. I figured out who the women are just on sheer luck. I said, okay, you're this woman and you're this woman, and didn't lock in because I know I had one other thing right. Yeah. And okay, you're this woman and this woman. Oh, it locked in because I figured out what happened to them. They got off the boat and they escaped to somewhere. I'm not going to tell you where. That's actually given in the first page, I think.
Oh, is it?
And I think with who they're with, yeah. So it might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's clues everywhere. So you have to pay attention to a lot of that stuff, and it takes a lot of mental capacity, but it's also when I hyper focus on this stuff, I'm relaxing and it's enjoying.
Yeah, this game is not, if your goal is I'm going to, like, when you're watching a mystery movie, when you watch it and you go, oh, yeah, I understand based on, like, major character choices, what's happening. That can get you, I think, maybe 12 mysteries solved.
Yeah.
I think everything else, you have to go into such weird directions. You've got to make assumptions based on where their bodies were at. You've got to make assumptions based on things written about them. You've got to make assumptions based on relationship. You've got to make a lot of assumptions, uncomfortably so, based on race.
Race, dialect, and in gender. Gender's easy. There's not a whole lot of women.
There's like 4 women in the entire ship.
There's 4 women on the boat,
easy.
and one, half of them die. Spoilers.
Which is, I think, a better ratio than the men.
Well, seeing that everybody dies except for like 4 people. Yeah,
not many survive.
All right, let's move on to the Naga sandwich.
Taste my grilled cheese.
Much.
What's our first good, Storm Rage?
Our first good, I think that the design of the UI in this game is so freaking smart. There was a scene where someone shouted out at someone's name, and it was something like, oh, Tommy's upstairs. I hope he's okay. So I immediately was like, okay, went upstairs, because it wasn't his death scene. So I was like, I don't entirely know who this person is or where they're going to come back, but at least I have a name. So I went up, I saw the person they were talking about. I did the thing where you focus in on them and then you hit tab or E or whatever it is, and it pulls up their section on the overall group picture. So then I clicked on their name, or clicked on their face, and then I clicked on the name that they just said. And then later, I think literally the next chapter, they were, that was the person that died, and it auto-populated, hey, you said this person was Tommy earlier, so we're just going to fill in Tommy died. You tell us how. You fill in that information. Mm-hmm. And so the ways that as you get more and more information, more and more things naturally fill in, and like filling in a thing here will automatically fill it in here, which will fill it in here, which means that when you make this guess, you can just look back at this thing to identify who this person is. And it's so flippin' clever and so smooth and so, God, it feels so good.
Right. It everything just, it's amazing when and like y'all said it last week, congrats, you just solved 3 fates. Scene pops up, you feel so smart.
Yeah.
It is like incredible. So I got the not so good. Having to solve the entire puzzle before you can unlock the last chapter. Come on, man. But I get it. It's the choice. It's the choice.
It's a bonus
of the game.
ending.
Yeah, it also fills in that mystery of what happened between chapter 7 and chapter 9. Like that, I mean, because it's just like so full spoiler. I finished the game. I got to my 36. I'm like, okay, I did the write up. Let's end the game. Let's go off the boat and let's see what the ending gives me. And it's just like, okay, I got the bad ending. Great. It's like, so it's like, because it says to me, this will be unlocked when you finish the game. Basically, I think what it says in the beginning of the chapter. So I went down to the area where the door is literally locked, and tried to open the door. I'm like, no, I can't do it. It's like, and I was like, so I Googled it. I'm like, 58. I have to solve 58 fates. Good Lord.
So when you finish?
Yeah.
When you finish the game, because I imagine that you finish the game by just walking off the boat, right?
Yeah.
When you finish the game, can you go back and solve mysteries again? Okay.
Yeah, so like there's a button that shows up under play when you do it. It says rewind, and it rewinds it to the point where you right before you walk off the boat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So like basically it doesn't happen.
Okay.
Yeah. So the best good, how well the story works and how compelling it is.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like in order. Like you do it. Like I suggest, like Storm Rage. I honestly suggest just going through the story in order.
I'm going to. Yeah, that's my next play. So
Yeah.
I essentially finished playing it through, and then my partner, who's so much better at like mysteries and observation than I am, who did not play it through with me the first time. We're just gonna play through beginning to end and just hit every chapter as we can.
Yeah.
And see where that takes us.
Yeah, and I think that because I unlocked 12 fates when I ended up doing that, so I think that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming to the guessing which one of the 4 Chinese top men is which.
Yeah,
which I don't think any of them have any real dialogue.
Nope.
Or figure out who the guy in the tattoos are, because
Who are you, mystery tattoo man?
I mean,
speak once in an accent I cannot identify.
Yes, it's frustrating, but it's so compelling. I was actually surprised how much I enjoyed just going through, since I knew the story, but then putting it in the correct order, made it so much better. Yeah. So, and it's definitely a good way to try to solve more cases. So we got 3 questions. 3 questions.
3 questions. It's a magic number 3.
He asks each traveler 5 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions.
3. That's a magic number.
I will ask myself 3 questions.
What are you liking so far?
Everything. Every aspect of this game is so good. It's just I cannot wait to keep playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single time I solve something, I go, I'm the smartest person on the planet. Now, I obviously am not, because people have solved this game much quicker, much more effectively than I have. But the second that I hit that solve, and there's small things that you notice where you go, oh yeah, it has to be this person. Oh, because this thing happened, and then this thing happened, and then because of the location that the thing was solved, and the way that this happened, it had to be this thing. And it's so flippin' good. Oh, it's so good. I love this game. I love playing this game.
Yeah. I'm liking the fact that sometimes guessing does work out in your favor. And it's so easy to take, and taking chances, and it's easy to just take chances with identifying people. And it's honestly, if you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you find out better information and you put a name on another face, it's fine. No hard, no foul. It doesn't lock anything in until you've actually figured it out. What are you struggling with?
I'm pretty dumb. I'm pretty dumb, Matt.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
And so I come across these things, and I come across these triangle of dumbs where it's hey, this person, you've seen them in 23 scenes. Matt said you hear their name in the scene before this. What's their name? I don't know. Tom? No, that's incorrect. Cool. Super cool. So there are just times where I wish my brain was better at seeing and noticing things so I could solve just a little bit quicker. Matt, how about yourself?
I have to go and fully figure this out. Find out who it is. And where I'm at, I think it's really at trial and error at this point. Like, maybe I have to go through a couple scenes again, try to figure out, okay, how did this person disappear? When did this person disappear? Who, what happened to this person? And maybe that's in the locked chapter. I don't know. But like where it's at and like where I'm at, like time wise, maybe I just go to the spoiler wiki and complete the story at this point. I don't know. I'm kind of like figuring out if I want to do that. That's where I'm at. I'm struggling with, do I open up the wiki and figure out just figure out the rest of the game at this point?
I would say don't until we record our last podcast about the game. Like
Okay.
just before then I think it's fair to be like, I want to see where the rest of these are.
All right. I think I'll do that. I think I'll wait till like Saturday and then I'll do it on Saturday or Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense. What surprised you?
How enthralling the story is, even when it is told in the way that it is. It's essentially most of the time told in a fractured, reverse chronological order with a few things that jump ahead of time. And that sounds unbelievably confusing, but it flows so nicely that it's so engaging.
Yeah.
And it just keeps you going, well, how did this happen? Oh, well, that's how that happened. Well, how did this happen? Oh, well, that's how that happened. Who are these people? Oh, that's who these people are. And I did not think a story told in reverse could be this effective, but it is.
Yeah. I think what really helps this game is the fact that like the journal, like I said, you said the journal's like the journal. I said it last week, or I said it in my write-up last week. The journal's the most important part of the game.
And it's really well done.
And it literally like drops you, okay, you're in this part of the story now. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, and then like we'll go back a page and fill this page out now that you've discovered it. It does that really well.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm struggling with is, or what I'm surprised me most about this game is how involved and into this game I would be. Like, I would figure I'd be like you or Dano, where it's just like, okay, I'm getting it. Okay, I figured out 9 people. All of a sudden, I have 36. I don't understand how that happened. I like these mysteries. I like do like puzzles. I do like puzzle solving. I do love reading a good mystery. It turns out, like, putting them together like this is just my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be trying to find another game that does this, and I know it's not nearly going to be as good as this game is going to be.
Yeah.
So that's what surprised me most.
My personal goal for me, Matt, I'm looking at your playtime for Obra Dinn. It looks like you've got 11.7 hours on record. I'm currently at 4.2.
Yes.
My goal is to get, you said 36 have been solved?
Yes.
My goal is to get to 36 before I hit 11.7 to see if time is equal, which of us is better at solving mysteries. And
Okay.
I will be cheating by using my partner's brain to help me. So
I mean,
if I win,
That's fair.
it's a tainted victory, and if I lose, it's more embarrassing.
That's definitely a good goal, and I look forward to hearing your takes on it next week, because I think this is, like I said, I played 12 hours and I didn't surprise. And the time to beat was like 9 hours, and I think it's just literally just the story.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is good. I like it. I like it a bunch.
I do too.
All right, so Storm Rage, sell this game to a friend.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh? Am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
Can you imagine? Imagine, if you will, being an insurance adjuster. And you get a call one early morning, 1807. And you go on the most magical, deranged, unhinged journey of deception, betrayal, death, fantasy, and you get to figure out what happened to everybody. Or maybe you don't. Who's to say?
All right.
How
So
about you, Matt?
imagine a game of Clue. You just shake up the box. You just take the box and shake it apart. Just go nuts on the box, right? And then open it up and dump it on a table. But you don't. There's no secret folder with the answer. There's none of that. You're walking around the boat for the mansion trying to figure out who murdered everybody. and how they died, and everyone killed everyone else. It's so good. It's a single player game of Clue where you shake the box and dump it on a table. It's great.
It's great.
All right, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for patronizing, or listening, and to all of our patrons for patronizing us. Special thanks.
Real quick,
Go
before
ahead.
we get into the outro, I'm so sorry, Matt.
Yeah. No, good.
For next week, I think next week is probably going to be our wrap-up of Obra Dinn, right?
Correct. And yeah, next week is going to be a wrap-up of Obra Dinn. We're going to try to get Dan on and get his final opinions on the game, because he does have them.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to finish the game. I'm going to try to 100% the game.
Yeah.
Without using spoilers, and you're trying to get to where I'm at, I think.
Yes, essentially. We'll see how far I get.
All right, cool. And then after that, I think what we're going to do, like, you're going to be off the week after that, right?
Yeah.
So I think Dan and I are just going to, the initial idea, and we'll let you know next week if this changes, that we just kind of just do, Dan and I just play a random game of just the two of us. Like, I'm going to play a game, Dan's going to play a game, and we're just going to talk about the two games we play.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out from there.
And
we'll figure it out between now and this week and next week, I think.
Yeah, the reason that we're not doing a full month of Obra Dinn is not because we don't like the game, as is evident by Matt and I ogling over this game for the last 50 minutes.
Yes.
But because it's a short enough game that once we're done, and there's not a whole lot of replay, and there's also no way to, like, check the story like there was in Life is Strange. So I think that wrapping it up, and then we'll check into something new, is probably just going to be the best bet for everybody, so we don't try to drag this out for an extra week by going, here's all the specific mysteries that we solved that probably nobody is interested in listening to.
Yeah, I think I had an initial 4-week plan when I was off that week, but I think it works better this way.
I do too.
So now that you've seen how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
That's it for this week, and thank you so much for listening, and thanks to all of our patrons for patronizing. A special thank you to our producers and best friends forever, Baximus and RidiculousHat. You can find the links to the Discord and our contact information of the pinned comment of our Patreon page at patreon.com/squelch. A lot of that is out of date, Dan. Sorry, I don't have a Twitter anymore. And also, just a reminder that investigation is really just a game, and that games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah! Return that Obra Dinn, baby!
And that's the end of Dean's show. Everybody, bye.
Everybody, bye!
Yeah, this game's fun. This game's great.
As we're kind of wrapping up, I'm curious. What has been your favorite solve so far? Like, has there been a fate that you were like, oh, this one was so cool? Because I have such a dumb one that made me feel so smart when it should not have by any stretch of the imagination.
The 3 men on the boat.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's
like
really smart.
At the beginning of chapter 9, the 3 men on the boat once I figured out who they were based on dialogue. Mm-hmm. And also the third guy, it's actually a little more difficult to solve, but he's the one guy on the boat who constantly holds papers, so that gives you a bit of a clue.
Okay.
That's his job.
He does something. He
holds the paperwork. That's his job.
Yeah.
The other two, like, there's some context clues with them, and then figuring out how, because I thought, okay, they initially escaped, great, and then while I go through the playthrough in order, I see the man with the tattoos being torn apart, and then I look, and then I turn to the side and I look, and I see this boat in the middle of just flying in the air with the 3 men falling out of it.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh. And I hit the way they died on all 3, and all of a sudden it locks in. Yeah, I feel super smart.
Yeah, I love that. Mine was much dumber. Mine was the gross sound. The dude that was
taking care of business on the poop deck.
Yeah. Because when he pops up, he pops up, and most everybody when they pop up in your journal has a picture of them, and the picture is usually from like one of the main things we've seen in the journal. And this one doesn't show up with a picture, and I was like, great, how am I supposed to identify this dude? And then I went into the crew log, and I was like, oh, it's got his signature. Oh, I just had to look for those initials. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course it's this person. It was like the artist or something along those lines. I was like, what an amazing thing! What an amazing way to include this person into this thing.
Right?
How freaking smart!
So good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Pope is 2 for 2 on games that I've played of his that I absolutely adore, and I think that actually might be the game I play after we're done with Obra, Dinn, just for a week. Just do that game because
Papers, Please.
Papers, Please is so good, and I think it's good. It's very good. I played a bunch of that game. I can't wait to play a bunch of it more.
I definitely want to play some. I'm excited. It's a great game.
Good games.
If you enjoy mysteries, trust us, we didn't spoil a lot of this game as far as like how to actually solve it. You will still have a lot of fun playing it.
Yes, agreed. And like the graphical style takes some getting used to, but once you're in it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, agreed.
It actually works really well. So,
all right. Well, I think the song's probably run out at this point.
Very much so. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.